The footprints of the culprit. Jill looked at the bodies and started searching through their clothes. I asked, "Do you think they have anything useful?" Jill replied, "They should have an ID card. A note or a photo, that way, by identifying them, we might be able to get a clue." He took a card from the pocket of the dead woman, looked at it and then said, "It belongs to a genetic engineering company. We went to Jill so that we could see the card." Seeing the card and the name engraved on it, Joseph said, "I saw this sign somewhere." He was silent for a while and continued, "Yes. In the office and among Sebastian's files. I'm sure we should go to the office. If he didn't take it with him, it should still be there." I said, "Don't wait, we're going there." We all got into the cars and drove to the police station. On the way there, Joseph said, "That woman worked for the company before these events and now she is a member of armed groups. It's a strange world." Jill said, "The company was working on biotechnology. Sebastian was researching that company and didn't tell us anything." We stopped in front of the police station. Jill and Joseph quickly went into the office. Harry, Stephen and Sarah stayed by the cars. I followed them into the office with Elizabeth and John. They searched through the files for the file that Joseph had seen. He finally found it. He opened it on the table and began to read the file. On August 10th, I received documents that an employee of the future company had sent anonymously. The Super Soldier project, in which both the Army and the CIA were actively involved. Experiments were being conducted on humans and animals with the aim of mutating them and taking part in battles before the main forces entered the battlefield. Intelligent and predatory creatures that hunt or destroy enemy soldiers, the main forces can capture enemy positions with minimal resistance. But to see the results of their work, they started from within the country. At first, they were the target of smugglers and anti-government groups and suspected terrorists. Some of these creatures disappeared in an incident whose cause was never determined, and after a while they suddenly attacked the company itself and its employees. With the rebellion of these creatures, which at first looked like trained dogs, many trainers and employees associated with them were killed. As they dispersed throughout the city and the network of underground canals and carried out planned and group attacks, many people and ordinary citizens were sacrificed. As the disaster spread, the security forces and police went to confront them in complete silence, but a mysterious force rose up against them and the situation got out of control. Sebastian had added a note under his report. The note was written 2 months after the initial report. The report was sent to the higher authorities. Strict orders were given that the case be pursued in complete silence and that only the National Guard be kept informed of the progress of the case. If there were no results, the city would be completely quarantined, and if it spread outside the city, the location of the incident would be erased from the map of the country. I said, "The city would be erased from the map of the country? Damn it. How do they want to erase the city?" Joseph said, "An atomic bomb, like Raccoon City." Jill said, "Eradicating every living thing. Without destroying the buildings and infrastructure of the city, with a hydrogen bomb. This place will be empty and new people will replace us." Elizabeth said, "We are now like old and abandoned property. The new residents will replace us with new things after we are thrown away. As if we never existed." I said, "Now we know why the city fell into this state and the reason for Sebastian's disappearance is also known. They were after him with the deliberate incident of the asylum. I hope he's alive because of your promise." Jill wrote something on a piece of paper and said, "This is the address of the future company, we're going there." I said, "I wouldn't mind knowing what happened there. You can't loot a looted city anymore. You're our employer for now, we're moving." Jill smiled and said, "Then let's go." We shook hands and left the office.